Up, everybody? It is your girl Melissa. Woo woo, y'all. It is Friday. If you are wondering why the screen looks like this, is because I'm waiting for my guests to tap in, okay? But just in case my guests don't show up today, y'all, we're gonna interview me. We're gonna interview her. Can you see her? Right there on the screen. We're gonna interview her if my guest doesn't show up, okay? So, how are y'all doing? It is Friday, y'all. It is beautiful. Opening day. Come on. Those of my Rocky fans out there, those who love sports, y'all, are you with me? Are you with me? Okay. Double screens. We are on double screens, Michelet. It's about to go down here in the KUHS Radio TV Denver studio. Ooh. Okay. But for real, sometimes this is what happens when you just go and roll with the show, right? So today's Friday. We're going to start it off. So if you guys are on today, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button. It helps with the Facebook algorithm so others are able to come and see the show. When you share it and you like it, it's not just for likes and shares, but it helps other people see the show who might not be able to see the show if you don't share it and you don't like it. So today, it is Friday, opening day. I almost forgot it was opening day. Let's see, I feel like I've been out of the sports scene for a while. Those of you that know me really well know I'm obsessed with sports. I've always watched sports. I've played sports. I'm just all around sports kind of girl, right? You used to see me at all the games, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, hockey, whatever it might be, and I would be there. And I was there all the time. And then I was like, you know what? 2020, I was like, well, one, the pandemic happened, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get tickets anymore. I'm going to cool it. I'm going to save my money. And I have been saving my money. But also, oh, can you hear? Can you not see me? Can you hear me? Can you throw a thumbs up? I don't know if you say you can hear or see me. I'm not sure. But I almost forgot because I always follow sports all the time, right? Let's just be real. I did my March Madness bracket. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but my bracket was just trash the first day. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Okay, good. Well, my bracket was trash on the first day, y'all, and let me just say, I lost. I don't know, I was okay for a little bit, and then the second day, I don't think any of my teams, I think one team made it into the Sweet 16, and that was it. I don't know. After that, after my whole bracket was lost, it just looked like it was horrible. It was horrible. Okay. Well, those for you who are tuning in, as you know, we were supposed to have a guest today. Still haven't. I'm waiting for them to patch in just in case something happened. You never know. We haven't heard from them, so you never know. But just in case, there's double of me today. So we're gonna Melissa Casada from Ignite is gonna interview Melissa Casadilla today on KUHS. It's just how it's gonna go. So, if you have any questions for Miss Quesadilla today, we're gonna answer them. I'm just telling y'all, we're gonna answer them, okay? So, all right, y'all. This is a topic that I want to talk about, okay? And let me know how you feel. I don't know. Have you guys worked retail before? If you have worked retail, I mean, you better throw some hands up, throw some fire in the emoji. Do something down there. Let me know if you've worked retail, because those who have worked retail will know my pain, okay? And so, okay, I got some questions, but let me finish the retail section real quick. So, let me tell y'all, in retail, okay, if you come cussing at your cashier, That's okay. It happens. You know, I've learned. Okay, I'm like a squirrel. I'm like, bloop, bloop. Okay, let me finish retail. Okay, so sometimes, okay, if you're upset, we understand. Us as customers get upset too. When I'm a customer, right? Something doesn't go your way. But y'all, when something happens, you cussing at somebody and going off on somebody isn't going to make that person help you anymore. It's actually going to make them not want to help you. So I'm going to just give you a retail tip for today, okay? And that's my retail tip. Stay calm, stay focused. We can only do so much. And then if you want to cuss it out, do it with the managers, because we don't make the big bucks on the floor, okay? We're just there to help you. So help us, help you, help us. All right? That's my retail tip for the day. All right. So I'm just going to wait for a few minutes more, and then if they don't come on, I will shut that screen off in the back so you can't see the old me. But if you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. And Anamia, thank you so much. Sometimes it happens. Guests don't show up. It's okay. I've learned, you know, one thing that's good about the Bible, right? Well, I mean, you should always be in your Bible. It's alive, it's active, it tells you everything. It's a blueprint to our lives. One thing it says in the Bible, right, is to be prepared in and out of season. And let me tell you, when I started working radio, I felt that like no other. I was like, it was conviction to my heart, because I was like, Jesus, now I know what you meant when you said be prepared in and out of season. Because then there's times like this, right, that someone doesn't show up, or we don't know what happened. Something could happen where they can't call, or they can't, you know, and God forbid, hopefully nothing happened. But, you know, things happen. And so you got to just be ready to keep going and keep moving and keep rolling, right? And so we always got to be prepared in and out of season. And I feel like that's for anywhere in our lives, where you're working, with your family, whatever it might be. Just always be prepared in and out of season. And so one, you know, I love that scripture in the Bible, but two, like, it meant so much more to me when I started working in the radio, because I understood that scripture so much more. And I was like, wow, like, it's crazy, because you think you got it all together, you got it lined up, and then boom, right? And you're like, oh man, what do I do? And you don't have anything in backup, because if you haven't prepared, then you're kind of screwed, right? And so that was one thing I learned really quick in radio, is being prepared in and out of season. And so it's okay, things happen, you know, there's no grudges, no nothing, like, it's just the industry, and stuff happens, and sometimes people don't show. So I'm just going to leave this on just for a couple more minutes, just in case they join in, because once I close this, I won't be able to see if they are there or not anymore. So I'm going to just leave it on just for like just 2 more minutes, since it's almost a quarter after. But those of you that are just joining in, thank you for tuning in here on Ignite with Melissa. Today, you know, here I am double screened. We're laughing about it. And so today, if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer any questions that you might have. It could be for me personally, or just any questions that you might have. And if I don't have an answer, I will find someone who has the answer for you, but I will answer it to the best of my ability. And today, let's just have a discussion. I love to get to know my viewers. I love to get to know more about the people that I get to see. Well, I don't technically get to see you, but you guys get to see me every Friday. I see you guys in the comments and in the chat. I see when you guys like and share, and it is so much appreciated, because without God and without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do and do what I love, and be here every Friday with you guys and sharing information, sharing guests, sharing stories, and just getting to know you guys better. So it's pretty awesome that I get to chat with you guys and hang out with you guys and get to know you a little bit better. And so if you have any questions, just let me know. Shoot them in the comments. All right. So, yes, Michele, if you've worked in a store on campus, it counts, okay? Anytime, any retail, anything dealing with customers, it counts. It counts. Let me tell y'all, there's a crazy mess out there, right? Alright guys, so it's a quarter after. I'm going to go ahead and exit this out so it doesn't look weird and you don't see like 400s of me. And so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to end the meeting for all and exit out of here. All right. And so we have, oh, let me see. Let me just log this so you guys don't see crazy things. There we go. And we'll just hang out with KUHS back there in the background. All right. Oh, and it goes, we'll just leave it there. All right. Okay, so Michelet asked, what are your goals immediate and long term? Ooh, that's a good question. Wow. Immediate goals. Ooh, you're gonna make me think here. I know long term goals. I could give you more long term goals than I can immediate. I feel like long term, I want to make sure my kids are okay, that they're taken care of. Having, just making sure they're taken care of. Of course, they're older, they can get jobs, but those of us who are parents always want to make sure our kids are okay financially, everything all the way around. Getting my youngest, when it'll probably fly by quick, but him graduating, just seeing the best for my boys and doing what's best for them. I see myself long term, out there speaking, doing what I love. Michelet, we've actually kind of talked about this, but being a coach and being out there and just sharing everything that I have learned and what I've gone through, and just being an advocate for others is very important for me, especially for those that don't have a voice. I've always told people, and I've always said this, especially to people who know me, who don't know me, I've shared this a lot, but I've always said that I wanted to be that for those which people were never that for me. Meaning, like, when you see someone on lunch sitting by themselves, like, go sit up and talk to them. If they don't want to talk to you, it's okay. Sometimes people just want to just be by themselves and not have anyone around them. But sometimes people are just sitting there by themselves, right? Like, go up to them and talk to them, because I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to not have friends, to not have people come and talk to you, to not be included. So, being that for others, which those were never that for me. So being an advocate in those areas and being able to help people that don't have a voice, and being that voice for them, that's one thing that I do see. Immediate goals. Man, that's hard. These are tough questions, but those are some of my long-term goals. And let's see. It says, do you ever get a chance to go to award shows and events? Yes, I've actually been invited to quite a few. Sometimes it's like spur of the moment. I was invited to an event, actually two events, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. One was in Atlanta, and it was, it was like a conference talk, like an event. Megan Good was there. It was just like a lot about like empowering women, and just a bunch of different things. And then another one was for the Bad Boys premiere, which is supposed to be on Netflix, I do believe. And it was a red carpet premiere. There's actually a couple other things that are recently like coming up that I actually got invites for. So always getting invited and being able to go to award shows or premieres and stuff, which is very awesome. But also, fun fact for those of you that don't know, I do have a full-time job. Radio is just my part-time. But I have a full-time job as well. And so sometimes it's hard when you have a full-time job plus kids and then a part-time job to meet all of these events or go to all these events. Sometimes with larger events, like today I got invited to something, and it's exclusive, and they won't even drop any of the dates or anything like where it's at until you RSVP and until that day. And so sometimes it's hard. So like if I RSVP to that today, The event is for Saturday, so they won't give you any details until that Saturday. So if you don't live in that area, which like a lot of the stuff is in LA, most like 80% of the time the stuff is in LA, California, in that area. There's stuff elsewhere as well, but a lot of the stuff happens there. So if you're not in that area, it's harder for you to just pick up and leave, get a flight, head out there, and be there on time, because they'll be like, make sure you get your pass at 1 p.m. From 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., that's the only time you can get your credentials or your passes to get inside. And then if you don't meet that time period, then you don't get them. So it could be hard to just pick up and go. Sometimes, like the weekend before, they give you a couple days, and they already tell you where it's at because it's not as exclusive. So it just depends on what events you're getting invited to or what shows you're getting invited to, like where they're at. If you could just drop everything and go, which one day, God willing, like I'll be at that point where my full-time job will be my full-time job of being able to go out and speak and coaching and doing what I love, radio, pictures, photography, and that, being a journalist. And so being able to do that full-time and then having my own schedule would give me the opportunity even more so to go out to more events and do things full-time. And so God willing, I will get there eventually, one day. And so yeah, so tell me about you guys. What are some of your goals, your long-term goals, your short-term goals? What are things that you want to do or that you're doing in your business now? What are things that you want to succeed in or need help in with your business? Maybe there's other people on here, because there's always, I feel like there's always on with Ignite, there's a lot of entrepreneurs on here and a lot of people who are always willing to help each other out, right? No matter like in which creative directive you're at, whether you're coaching, whether you're speaking, whether you're a pastor, whether you're in ministry, whether you're in the arts, in directing, in radio, in sports. It's such a huge variety of people that tune in on Ignite. And more so like moms with small businesses, stay at home moms. There's so much to learn from so many different people. And I think sometimes us as people limit what people can do based on their title or their job description, right? And we don't give them the full opportunity to give us an opportune time to learn from them, which I feel like we can always learn from everybody. And I think sometimes we kind of push people to the wayside, thinking like, oh, well, they're not in the same industry, so they won't have nothing for me, or oh, they're just a stay-at-home mom, so they don't have anything for me, or they're just a mechanic, they won't have anything for me. But let me tell you, like, one thing that I love, and those of you that like know me personally know, like, I just love to talk to people. I love to get to know people. I'm always asking questions. I think people sometimes are like, you know, why do you ask so many questions? And I think sometimes they think like I'm interrogating or something, but I'm really not. It's just that I love to get to know people and see their side, like see where they grew up from, understand their perspective, and just the things that they think. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of an example, but just, you know, even in things like you would think something different what I would of this situation, right? It would be the same situation, but we have two total different perspectives. And I love that, because then it's like, oh, well, how did you think of that perspective? Like, what made you think that way? And trying to see different into what people think and what they're like. And, you know, it's crazy, because if you want everybody like you, like, why would you want that, right? I mean, I feel like you need a diverse group of people. Like, you can learn so much from so many different people, so many different genders, so many different walks of life, right? It's like, I think sometimes too, in a faith-based world. We think like, oh, this person's Catholic, so I'm Pentecostal, so I'll never learn anything from them. But like, you would be surprised by just having an open conversation of the things that you learn from them and that you can take from them and build from it in your view and your perspective, right? And on your truth. And I think it's just an awesome thing. So always being able to just connect with people and learning from people. Everyone that's on here, you know, there's always so much to learn. I learn things new all the time, especially with my guests that I have on here. I love it because, you know, and I felt the same way. I used to teach kindergarten, and I always feel like, um, you know, they always say that like you're the one who impacts, like teachers are the ones who impact the students, but I always feel like the students were the ones who impacted you. And I feel the same way with this show. Like the guests on here and the people who come, like I feel like they impact me more than I'm doing anything for them. And that may sound weird, but it's just like I always get so much from every single person who's on here, and just it's rewarding to see like where they have come from and what they've done and their accomplishments, but also like the great words of advice that they give, the nuggets that they give, you know, and you're like, ooh, I need to write that down. And it's just so awesome to see like everybody come in and out, whether they're actually in the studio or you get to just do a live on air. It is so awesome to just see tons of different people and get to learn from them and get to know them. And some people just come on and some people just go, but it's also awesome to get to know people and then stay connected with them and become friends with them and build that friendship. And it's, you know, no longer of you just being a guest on the show, but it's also like, hey, like now, like we're friends and we've got to build a friendship out of this and get to know each other and be a part of each other's worlds. So I think it's totally cool and very awesome, and I'm very grateful and blessed to do what I do. Hey Luis, how are you? Florida in the house, come on, woo woo. Let's see. Michelet's goals: continue to guide women in implementing a daily revolutionary self-care practice. Come on, girl. Let me tell you about that self-care. Okay, y'all, if you need a self-care coach, this girl right here, if you do not know, her name is okay, it's Michelle. I call her Michelet. But Michelle, okay, has her own practice, right? And if you want to drop it off in the comments below, just because I'm not at like a computer to type it in, but if you guys need a coach to help you out, or if you know somebody who needs help with self-care, get with my girl. If you don't know anything about her, let me share a little tidbit for you. She was a guest here on my show. So if you go on Ignite with Melissa, click on videos and scroll down, you will find her in one of the videos and see our interview and how she can help you with self-care. And you can get a what are they called? Like a free, well, I don't want to say free, sorry. Don't quote me on free. But you could get a consultation to see if you are a right fit. If you two are a right fit with each other. And if you're not, she will help you find someone who is a right fit for you. So y'all, check out my girl. She is going to put her stuff inside the comments so that you can click on her link and get connected with her. And, you know, check it out. What can you lose? You can't lose anything, right? And we all need self-care. We all need self-love. We all need to take inventory of ourselves. Practicing self-care is a must. Listen to your body. Trust your body. Know your body. And also know your environment. Like for me lately, I've been just in a slump. Let's be real, y'all. Can I be real with you? I've been in a slump like in the past 2 weeks, and just in my own little world, letting my thoughts get to me, which I shouldn't, and just, man, just really like feeling it, right? And I'm like, man, what did I do to allow people to steal my peace? What did I do to allow people to steal my joy? What could I have controlled? We can't control everything. Let's put that out there. We can't control everything. But what are the things that I could have controlled to not let those things get to me and not get me to this place of where I am? And so we always got to take those self-inventory checks and check on ourselves. And let me tell you, I'm the type of person that it's probably not good, so please do not take my advice on this. I'm just telling you because I'm being transparent with you. But I'm the type of person that I will fall off the face of the earth for a while so I can regroup myself. I will not pick up phone calls. I will not pick up text messages. Everybody just falls off the face of the earth to me. And that's kind of what happened in the past couple weeks. I didn't answer any phone calls, didn't answer any text messages, just ignored everybody because I needed to regroup and get myself back together and realize, like, what are those things that I let happen? Again, you can't control everything, but what did I do to allow things happen? Or what people did I allow to come in? Or what habits did I allow to come in to make me lose those things that once brought me peace, brought me joy, brought me happiness, and somewhere like you notice you're losing it. And so always practice self-care and take inventory checks. And I'm not a professional, it's just what I do. But the professional here is Michelle. So she dropped her link in there. You can schedule an appointment, get a consultation. If she's not a right fit for you, you can get somebody that is. And yes, healthy boundaries. Come on, let's talk about boundaries, y'all. That's one thing. I'm ready to talk about that. Okay. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you're doing, what type of business you're in. We have to have healthy boundaries, okay? And you gotta learn to say no, right? You also gotta learn to stick up for yourself and speak up for yourself. Because in those healthy boundaries, okay, and I can only speak from my own personal experience, but having healthy boundaries is like, no, this is not okay. Actually, I'm so glad you brought this up because I brought this up with somebody the other day about having healthy boundaries, right? And I don't know why. It always comes back with relationships. Everything always comes back with relationships with me. Y'all, I don't know. Maybe because I've been through so much that I know all the things you should not do. Right? But someone had asked me the other day about, okay, well, this person said they just wanted to be a friend. They kind of like friend zoned me, right? And we've all been there. I've been there. I've probably been the one who's friend zoned. Tons of people have friend zoned me. Like, it's just a natural occurrence, right? Things that happen. Okay, well, I said, okay, because I've had this happen, right, to myself. And so this person had asked a question, and I was like, all right, well, it's good if you want to be friends after that, but then you got to put healthy boundaries, right? You have to set boundaries and expectations. So when this person is texting you, like, where you at, who you with, what are you doing, like, you don't get access to my life like that anymore. You don't get that privilege to ask me who I'm with, where I'm at, what time I'm going to be home, because we're just friends. We're not in a romantic relationship, or we are not dating no longer, because that is the expectation you put. You just want to be friends, right? So then you got to set those boundaries. They do not get the access of you anymore, of a person who is that you're in a relationship with. So you have to set those boundaries. If they just want to be friends, then that's what they get, is what a friendship is. Call you, hey, how are you doing? What are you doing? Let's go hang out. Things that friends do. Now, do friends call you and be like, well, why did you go on a date with this person? Or why did you, okay, maybe some friends, that's probably a bad example. Some friends might, we have all those cheese my friends that ask everything, want to be in your business, they ain't drinking their Mountain Dews, doing what they need to do, right? Okay. But, you know, you have to set those boundaries. They don't get that access to you anymore of what they could have had, right? And so you got to know when to say no, set healthy boundaries for yourself. And that's just an example because I seen that in here about healthy boundaries. And I just wanted to bring that up because that was actually really fresh and recent. And so being able to set those healthy boundaries with whoever it is, a coworker, um, a person in ministry, maybe somebody who goes to your church, uh, you know, you got to set those boundaries. Like, if you're not okay with doing 7 different tasks, right? It's burning you out. You got to be like, no, I can help with greeting, and that's my limitations. Like, I know my limitations, and it's not because I don't want to help you. It's just because that's where I'm at this moment. If in the future I can do more stuff and my time is more available, then I will be able to help you. And don't be afraid, because those who understand are going to understand, and those who don't, then you didn't need them, right? But you got to be okay with setting those boundaries, having healthy boundaries, because if you don't, the only person you're hurting is yourself, first off. Second, depending on what that boundary is or where you're at, whether it's a work, taking on a bunch of tasks, whether it's in ministry, doing a bunch of volunteer work, or whatever the case may be, you're going to end up burning out, and then you're going to be giving less quality because you're spread out, right? So if you have so many tasks at your job, and you're promised so many people that you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to help them with this, you're going to do that, and you didn't set that boundary, now you are stressed, you're letting them down, because now you can't give your full time and your full effort and your full potential of quality that you can give to whatever that might be, because you're being so spread out because you didn't set those healthy boundaries in the beginning. So yes, like Michelet said, it's okay to say no. There's a really good book. It's by Lisa uh, Tirkus. I can never say her name right. Um, but she has this book out. It's an older book. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's like, it's when it's okay to say no, or you don't have to say yes all the time. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. But it's a really good book. I have it at home. I read it. It's hold on. I'm gonna do it because it's gonna bother me if I don't tell you this book. Okay. But it's by her. Okay, hold on. I have it right here. Okay. The Best Yes. That's what it's called. Okay. It's making wise decisions in the midst of endless demands. And it's really good because it's talking about, like, it's okay to say no. When is it okay to give your best yes? And it's just a really good book. You should read it. I recommend it. Those of you that know, I'm a bookworm. I love to read. I read tons of books all the time. It's a good read. You should read it. And so it's okay to say no. It's okay to set those boundaries and have them for yourself. And yes, no is a complete sentence. Come on. I'm going to throw my shoe out because that's right. All right, let me get in here. Oh, okay, Michelet shared a book by Barbara Allen Russell. I like Yes, I Said No. Okay, Yes, I Said No by Barbara Allen Russell. And so, tons of good books. There's a lot of books too. There's a book actually called Boundaries. It's more like, I don't know. But there's a lot of good, depending on what you have, there's a lot of books about boundaries, about when to say yes, when to say no, setting those healthy boundaries. Again, too, a lot of things that are good are like relationship books. and not just relationship intimately, right? Because I think a lot of times when you think relationships, you automatically think intimate relationships, but also having good relationships with the people around you, whether it's at your job, just those people that are in your sphere of influence, coworkers, people at church, your family. Having good, healthy relationships also help you better with boundaries as well, and not being afraid and being comfortable to say yes, to say no, and so forth. And so I'm so glad you brought that up today about boundaries. And sometimes your girl, you know, y'all been here before. I'm the cutoff person at times. But sometimes, okay, let's get it right, okay? Because sometimes, you just cut people to cut people off. But sometimes you gotta cut people off to protect your peace, right? I know with me, more so now, is that if you, if my environment, my peace environment, what I've worked so hard for, if I see it start being, um, infected, I feel like that's a good word. It's infected, right? Like when you have a cut and something comes in and infects it, and then, it gets worse, right? And the cut could get really bad. Um, it has that infection, and like you have to heal that infection, right? If you're letting people in, um, that are going to infect your environment, you got to make sure and you have that discernment, and you have um, what you need to, the strength to be like, nope, I'm going to set you aside. I'm going to love you from the side. I'm going to still care for you from the side. I'm going to still pray for you from the side. But if you're infecting my peace and everything that comes along with it, I've worked too hard to get here that I gotta say no.